Third NFL Sunday of the year saw a scary injury moment, may not have been as bad as we feared, and a couple of other impressive and disappointing performances. I'm Brian Clark at CineSport, taking a look around with Eddie Pells of the AP. And Eddie, that injury, Ben Roethlisberger went down with a knee injury and the Steelers win over the Rams. It looked a lot worse than it was. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks with an MCL injury, so Mike Vick takes over. How will the Steelers operate with Vick running the offense instead of Roethlisberger?
Well, the thing you got to remember about the Steelers right now is that, job number one is to get the ball to the best receiver in the game, Antonio Brown. So you can't dumb it down very much. I think they've got to try to hope that Vick's arm strength is still around. He was the guy who, set the bar on that coming out of college. His stats the last couple of years in New York and Philly, only 53% completion rate, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But sometimes with Brown right now, you throw the ball up there and he catches it. And if they can make that work for about a month, they could be okay.
You mentioned arm strength with Vick. There were all the talk about arm strength when it came to Peyton Manning and all the doom and gloom about the Broncos' new offense. But you look up and the Broncos are now 3-0. Have they been getting more impressive as the season's gone on here in the early stage?
Yeah, which side of the ball you want to talk about? First of all, Peyton, there were a couple today that he was zinging them in there, and it kind of makes you laugh when you talk about lack of arm strength. They played him out of the pistol, which is more what he wants to do, gives him a little extra time, a little more stuff to look at from a couple of yards behind the line. Threw for 324 today, which is his best performance, but my goodness, the defense, you really have to give them credit. They held Detroit to 2 touchdowns, 4 sacks today, and for the third straight week, they basically make a play to win or save the game, this time when they got the pick to stop Detroit while they were driving for the go-ahead score.
So the Broncos win in Detroit. The Lions are 0-3, and there's a couple of teams with high expectations that are now 0-3. You look at the Lions, the Saints, and the Baltimore Ravens. Out of that group, which one's in the most trouble?
How about, can you go with D, all of the above? 1998 Bills, that's your trivia question today. That's the last 0-3 starter to make the playoffs. But if you made me pick, Brian, I'd probably go with the Ravens. They're 0-3. They just lost to Cincinnati at home today, and that's the team that they're chasing, the 3-0 Bengals that John Harbaugh called the best, most talented team in the league. And this was a team that a lot of people thought would go to or maybe win the Super Bowl this year. So I go with Baltimore.
Yeah, those 98 Bills, they used Doug Flutie to make the playoffs. Not sure he's available in 2015. Eddie Pells. So. Eddie Pells of the AP. Thanks, Eddie.